Have we not hit it?
I don't know.
Well, you know what?
Because that was a long conversation. It was
good. At the end of the day, Mike, people are going to be disappointed no matter what. So why don't we disappoint them in the intro, just to let them know what we're all about.
I think that's the good part. Hey, this is Wild Wasteland. I'm Michael Johnson.
I'm Dean Maldonado.
Hey, and Dean, did you know what we do here on this podcast?
Yeah, we discuss things that go on in our wild wasteland that we live in.
Conspiracy theories.
Well, I feel to call them conspiracy theories is to belittle them. Because at the end of the day, what is a conspiracy, right?
Oh God, I don't know the definition.
I do.
Oh, what is the definition?
I have it tattooed on my arm. A conspiracy is quite literally the idea of what happened at a certain place, event, time that is not popularly held.
Okay, so like
it's not the popular opinion.
It's like the Las Vegas shooter.
Sure. So like the Las Vegas shooter, right?
Yeah.
With the Las Vegas shooter, the popular opinion is he was one crazed maniac who somehow slipped by all security in his hotel and opened fire on a crowd of people from his hotel room and then killed himself before he was done.
Yeah, as you do.
That's the popular belief.
We're also going to be talking about murderers,
aliens,
of course,
cryptozoology,
interesting subjects that we find we deem worthy.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, at the end of the day,
it's just a wild fucking wasteland.
It truly is. There are things that just cannot be explained, but we'll try.
Yeah, the truth is out there, man.
It is. I've never seen the X-Files, but
that's from the show.
That's just because I don't like fictionalizations of true things. So I didn't like the movie Dunkirk.
Whoa, you can't say that.
Why not?
That's offensive.
To who? White people?
People died in that one.
Yeah, no shit. White people and white people. Who the fuck is crying for them? French and English? They don't cry for shit.
The French don't.
No, nor do the English. They have a stiff upper lip. They'll never cry for that.
Whatever that means.
It means their dick is always hard.
Jesus Christ.
It's a stiff upper lip. Come on.
I got a stiff upper lip.
Yeah, my lower lip is saggy with 2 nuts.
But yeah, we'll be coming through every week here, drinking beers, talking about all this crazy shit. But yeah, today's episode, we're just going to be introducing ourselves and maybe talking about our favorite subjects to bring up.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, this one's been on my mind all day.
What's on your mind? What's going on? What's big in Dean Maldonado's mind right now?
Recycling.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
No.
Like what?
No, it's not.
No, like everyone agrees. Like this is a good thing.
But for what?
It's your fucking like civil duty or whatever. Like
why?
They're
Why?
big brothering you into it.
Yeah, I believe that. They're telling me, hey, you drinking your beers over there, your one little can is the reason that our ozone is leaving us. It's not. It's not. And when you fucking recycle your can, you're helping them destroy our environment.
Well, so you're saying that recycling has the negative effect than what you might think it does?
Entirely.
Well,
here's the thing. Okay, you pay for an extra service to pick up recycling from the same company that picks up your garbage, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're paying them double.
Of course. To then take it to the same plant because people are fucking idiots and they can't recycle. They don't know how to separate shit.
Mm-hmm.
When you throw away your little goddamn Coke Zero bottle because you were watching your calories.
Yeah, I am watching my calories. Thank you.
The cap and the little ringlet on the bottom of the cap.
Yeah.
Those plastics are non-recyclable.
No, yeah.
But plastic. The rest of the plastic of the entire bottle is recyclable. So someone at that plant has to sift through all of your shit to find those caps and take those caps off before they can recycle the other shit. If you were trying to recycle... That's like
why we pay them twice as much.
If you try and recycle a pizza box...
Oh, I love pizza.
Yeah, I know you do. But pizza boxes are trash. They cannot be recycled because there's literal grease inside
No, they can
of
recycle
the cardboard.
They can recycle the grease. Like,
No,
what
they
the hell?
can't.
This is biodegradable.
Yeah, exactly why it's trash. Biodegradable means it will degrade biologically.
No, I mean like it's
All the grease in that cardboard makes it unrecyclable. You literally have to throw this in the garbage. And so the thing is that people think that they're like, oh, I'm saving the environment and I'm throwing out my stuff and I'm separating my trash. But it all goes to the same goddamn sifter machines, which takes a bunch of gasoline to run, for them to then sift all through it and then put it in its respective bins.
they run the sifters off of gasoline, not electricity.
Of course.
They just have like gallons of gas.
Their entire building's built off gas.
Oh my god.
Most of our buildings are. And so,
I know I pump gas into my generator every year.
but yeah, so they fucking sift through it, right? And they'll
Mhm.
take your cans and they'll take your bottles and they'll put them all in these big ass machines that push them and compress them down into giant blocks.
Yeah.
And they strap those blocks to giant shipping freighters,
Mm-hmm.
which are the exact most. They're literally the biggest offenders of carbon pollution in the world.
Yeah, I heard that 5 of them produce as much as all the cars do in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Just 5 of them or
Yeah.
something.
Just 5 trips from different ones.
Jesus Christ.
And they do millions of trips a year.
Oh my god.
And so we then send all of our shit to a country that can do something with that. So you're hurting the environment more by recycling. And the thing is that they play it off like we're the ones who are the assholes about this, right? They play it off like we're the animals. But if you look at it, literally out of the 100% of recycling efforts that go awry and basically just don't help, and the carbon emissions, the public, the people that get blamed for it the most, by the media, by the government, by groups, all that shit.
Mexicans.
Sure,
Yeah.
they blame us, mainly because they're closer to the sea.
Yeah. They have
But-
to deal with it.
Yeah, I know.
They got Trash Island out there.
Same with Floridians. Well, more Hawaiians than Floridians, but yeah.
Yeah, Hawaiians are always complaining about something.
You catch the drift.
Mm-hmm. I catch it.
We make up 1% of the impact on the global climate crisis. The
We gotta
public,
cut that down to 0.5%, though.
the entire human public, every fucking country, including India and China, makes up 1% of pollution of the world. The other
a fair point.
99% is all corporations,
Oh,
which
these corporations.
which
I hate
we
these
don't
guys.
look at. We don't even focus on them simply because
Because-
we're beating ourselves up there. I'm like, I don't recycle enough. Oh no, I'm the one hurting Mother Earth. No, I'm not. This asshole who prints things in plastic and then dumps the plastic beads into the ocean because it's reclamated water, and they're like, it's okay. We have a permit to do this. We can lose about 600 million tons of plastic into the ocean per year without ticketing.
That's true, yeah. They have
Fuck you.
They have awful credits or whatever. What are they called?
They're yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's literally they have a crediting system of them like
Yeah, every
basically-
corporation has pollution credits.
yeah, and all they do is they have to give up the credits when they abuse the
Well, you can sell them
Of course you can.
if you're not using them.
Well, yeah. What do you think Amazon does? Amazon's like, yeah, we have drones. They just run on air and electricity. They're like, you guys need it for gasoline? Sure, here's a couple credits. Give us $6 billion.
Oh, the drones that move the shelves.
Those are different drones.
Those are crazy. Those
Those
like
are
ants.
awesome.
I wish I had that in my life. I don't know what they would do. Move around stuff.
They
for me?
probably still move shelves.
Yeah, because I got all these shelves. Got all these fucking shelves.
I don't think they understand to move things besides shelves.
It's like, where is the shelf that needs moving? No, can you move this couch?
You're like
Where's the shelf?
You're like Rick right now when he built the butter machine. What is my purpose?
Move a shelf.
Oh God. Oh God. Yeah, welcome to life.
Hey, Shelfbot, can you get the bookshelf over here? I really want to read War and Peace.
Oh God. You pick it up every day and fall asleep 3 words in. Can I get you an Ambien instead?
War and Peace is a really difficult, long, fucking tedious book.
Yeah,
Okay?
that's why you gotta just read The Art of War instead. It's basically a picture book with pop-ups.
I'm gonna get an audio. Hey, we're sponsored by Audible. Audible.com/Wild Wasteland and receive 35 months free audiobooks.
Courtesy of Bing. Bing.com.
Bing, a better way to search.
Is that their slogan?
I think so.
That's a terrible slogan.
I don't know if it is.
That's like they're like, Bing, we know Carmen Sandiego.
Bing, we're not Google.
Bing, we found Waldo.
Bing, better than Ask Jeeves.
I love that. It wasn't Ask Jeeves. It was Ask. What was
Ask
the name?
Jose.
No. There was a website. It wasn't Ask Jeeves. It was like Ask Pete or something like that. It was like a very regular name, and the trick behind it was that it wasn't a search algorithm.
It was a guy named Pete.
No, it was literally just to fuck with your friends.
Oh, fuck with your friends.
Yeah. So what you do is you ask your friend for a question, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like you're like something you would never know, never be able to Google. And it's like they're like, okay, what's my favorite soda? And you're like, I don't know, what is your favorite soda? And they're like, Fanta Orange. And so you hit Shift and type in Fanta Orange.
Whoa.
And it fake types in a question as you're doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you hit search, and it brings up the answer you just gave it. And you're like, what? It knew! It was so fun.
So yeah, we're getting back to this pollution credits.
All right, if we're going to get back to pollution credits, I need to have at least 2 more aluminum cans in front of me full of malt and beer and hops and barley.
Are you done with your beer?
I'm done with my ciders. I like to drink fermented apples. They actually, fun fact, cider is a very interesting alcohol type, mainly because it is so old. P.T. Barnum and other great showmen of the time have been known to make their own cider, and it was made in monasteries for a long time. The oldest American cider is called Woodchuck. It's called Woodchuck. It's made out of Vermont.
It's made out of Vermont?
Yeah, it's made in Vermont.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's shipped out of Vermont.
I thought it was like made out of Vermont.
Yeah, literally the soil of Vermont.
Like the people, the trees,
Ben and Jerry's,
the birds.
But so the cool thing about it is that actually during the Prohibition, Woodchuck had to close its cidery because it was technically illegal. So what they did was they sent their top cider brewers, or I guess ciderists. I really don't know what the technical term is.
Cidarians.
Sure, I'm down with cidarians. It sounds like Game of Thrones.
Cidarians, yeah.
They
Where is the Cidarians?
David Cidarians.
That is the Cidarians.
Oh, David's in the shitter. I'm sorry, I'll knock.
Cidarian. So what are we getting at?
So we were talking about Woodchuck cider. Actually, it was closed down in the Prohibition age.
Gross.
And so what they did was they sent their top cidarians to Ireland and Scotland, and they went to go find a place that can make cider.
Like elves or something?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
And so what they did was they created what is known as Magner's cider.
Yeah, I know about Magner's cider.
Magner's is the sister company, well, more or less daughter company of Woodchuck.
Incest company.
No, if it's international, it's not incest. Once you go over an ocean, that pussy stops counting. Have you never watched The Guilt Trip?
I watched The Guilt. No, I didn't watch it.
I mean, The Guilt Trip has nothing to do with this.
Oh.
That was the Seth Rogen Barbra Streisand movie where he drives across the country with Barbra Streisand as his Jewish mother.
Okay.
It's just fun.
Oh, okay. I'll check it out.
You shouldn't.
I'll put it on my Netflix queue.
You won't like any of the jokes. You're too goyish.
What the fuck does that mean?
You don't need to know.
You
For all
call
my
me a racist slur and
for all my
fucking Jew?
for all my kikes out there, he's a goddamn Goyisha.
You're a golem.
Wow. No, I'm not.
You
I am
fucking-
not. I have not been
You're
made
like a
by some.
clay. You're like a giant clay being.
Why does every golem need to be made of clay? Huh? What's your
Because-
obsession with clay? Do you just love Patrick Swayze and Ghost, and you're just like everything must be clay? Oh, touch me, spin that dough. Oh yeah. Is that really what you like? Is that really what you like?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Hey,
Yeah.
if it's
Hey.
what you're into, it's 2018. You know, I have to accept goat fuckers and whatever else you have. You.
Okay, we got to get back on track.
Okay, what was the track? We were talking about recycling.
pollution
We
credits.
basically got all the way through recycling.
Oh.
I don't
okay.
care about your pollution credits. I know about them. The world knows about them. What are
So-
you yammering on about?
So recycling started in like the 80s with that fucking barge. I don't know if you ever watched Bullshit, but they had an episode about recycling. And yeah, like it's all just like 70% of everything that goes into the recycling bin eventually gets into the trash anyway. So,
Yeah.
And out of the 30% that does get recycled, 99% of it is like aluminum cans. The recycling industry runs off of metal because it's the only thing worth recycling. There's no point of recycling paper or any other because there's just no money in it.
Yeah, they can't recycle glass
Yeah, exactly.
because it's just white, green, and brown glass, and they all melt at different temperatures.
Mm-hmm.
And so they can't put them in the same kiln.
Which is an interesting thing to discover because you just figure that all glass is glass and like
Right? You don't think they'd be tempered to different
Yeah.
settings?
I was just like, oh, they put dye in the glass or something. But nope, that's a different melting temperature, just like chocolate. The difference between
Ooh.
chocolate and caramel is 1 degree.
Yeah, and the difference between chocolate and white chocolate is power.
That's Stan. That might be the intro. Hey, everybody, this is wild. Yeah, but you know, Dean, do you know what the biggest conspiracy is right now? Social media networks. That's right. That's right.
Oh my God! Yeah, I've been tracking this for a little bit.
And it's just even getting bigger and bigger and more realistic.
Why don't you clue in the audience while I attempt to sop up my sweat?
Well, you're breaking the fourth wall here. You can't-
What?
you
I'm just
can't be-
telling
you
them
can't
I'm
be telling-
sweaty.
You're verklempt.
I'm not verklempt. I'm not concerned. I'm not sweating because I'm nervous. I'm not stiffened up. I'm not verklempt.
This isn't the Holocaust. There's
Wow.
rules. There's rules here.
There were always rules in the Holocaust. You
Yeah,
couldn't
no
eat
Jews.
until you broke 10 rocks. You know, bullshit like that.
You didn't- You know, there's comedians in the Holocaust.
Yeah.
They're funny Jews.
That's how we got through it.
Uh,
By making jokes. Oh wait, what's this social media shit? Fucking anti-Semite.
Facebook. You heard of it?
I've heard of
You heard about this Facebook?
I heard about it once or twice, yeah.
Well, did you know that they're owned by the CIA?
That is false.
They were started. Mark Zuckerberg has an uncle who worked in the CIA. I don't know. Like,
No, I know that.
God
I
damn
know
it.
I know what you're going on. I know this entire story.
okay, good. You tell it because I watched a YouTube video about it like a year ago and I forgot everything about it.
That's such idiotic shit. You gotta read the goddamn articles, Michael. Read. Use your eyes and brain. and read.
No.
I get that we have nerds who read things and talk about it online for us, but you gotta read it. Basically, there was a covert CIA scheme 50 years ago to more or less. Okay, so backtracking even further, right?
Okay. So before the 50s.
Well before a lot of Soviet writers
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of communist and dictatorship writers had always said about how the most prevalent mass, I guess, desensitization, you know, like the mass propaganda,
Yeah.
is through the television. The television in communist countries, even in North Korea, people can't eat, but every single family has to have a color TV.
Yeah, did you know that in London or in Britain?
That they have to move the dreads to find the channels.
Yeah, man. No, they have a
It's over
TV.
there, man.
They have a TV talks, man. You know about this?
Yeah, they do.
And they have like TV detectors that drive around with like fake satellite dishes on the roof,
Mm-hmm.
saying like, so they had this technology from like the 50s, quote unquote technology. They had this quote unquote technology from like the 50s, and they said like, not only can we detect what room the television is in, but we can tell you what channel you're watching on the television.
Yeah, it's called a Nielsen box. Fuck you.
It's not. It's all bullshit.
But so the thing is that's the biggest form of propaganda for a government is the television.
Well, it's like
you
can advertise whatever you want inside people's houses and just get into their fucking brains.
Of course, look at what's happening right now. Look at the
in North Korea?
No,
Here
in Saudi Arabia.
What's going on in Saudi Arabia?
Saudi Arabia is feuding with Canada right now.
Odd.
I know it sounds odd. It really does.
Odd. I figured that Canada and Turkey would have like
no. So Canada refused to release a Saudi prisoner and made a very quote unquote defamatory tweet towards Saudi Arabia.
Oh my God, we're getting upset about tweets now.
Saudi Arabia then expelled all Canadian embassy people, all Canadian embassy workers. They brought back all Saudi Arabian citizens that were studying in Canada, and they have been putting out in their news that Canada has the most human rights violations towards women. They played Jordan.
Saudi Arabia says this?
Yeah. They're playing Jordan Peterson like he's the person who runs Canada.
Wait, who's Jordan Peterson?
He's the man who is a Canadian. He was a Canadian professor. He now goes on talking about how he refuses to use proper pronouns for people because he doesn't respect them.
Oh, so he just calls them them?
No, he's like, I'll call you he or her and they're like, well, why can't you call me what I want? They're like, why can't you respect me enough to call me what I want? And he's like, because you've given me no reason to respect you.
Whoa, damn.
He's like, literally, you've just complained and cried to me, and you've given me no reason to respect you, so why should I respect you enough to call you what you exactly want?
This guy's a boss. I like him.
His big issue is that they were trying to get the Canadian government to make it illegal, more or less, to call someone by improper pronouns. And he's like, you can't have the fucking government telling me.
I heard that Canada already passed a law to make that illegal. Like you can't call someone the wrong pronoun.
Yeah, they did. And he was
Like
a big opponent to that bill because he was like, that's the first thing of the government telling you what you can and can't say.
Fair point.
Right? And that's what you're saying. I'm like, that's really a fair point. I get that you're upset that he doesn't want to call you by your proper pronouns. I get that. That he's upset by all of it. That you're upset by all that. But the fact that the government steps in and says, you legally have to call this person a they or a them, or a he or a her, or a z or zer, or a what are the other ones? Him, H-E-M.
Oh my God! Like there's a million. There's
literally
like
26.
Yeah.
There's 26 that Canada just legalized, and he was like, he was a big proponent. He was an opponent against that because he was like, "What the fuck are you doing? You're trying to limit my speech by telling me what I can say and not what I can't say."
You know what this is all about? Though?
But let's get back to Saudi Arabia.
Okay, fine, fair enough. I just
so
wanted
Saudi
to go a tangent
Arabia,
about
they're pushing him as if he's the fucking mayor of Canada
because that fits their
it fits what they're
propaganda.
trying to say. Yeah. And they actually on Wednesday, so yesterday, there was a man who was crucified. He was literally crucified in Mecca.
Canada?
Mecca. In Mecca, which is in Saudi Arabia, they
Yeah.
crucified a man while chanting "Down with Canada." And so it's a big fucking feud right now between Canada and Saudi Arabia.
Was this Jacques Christ or something?
Jacques Cousteau?
So what's your favorite horror movie?
That's,
have you seen anything
that's
good
a tough
lately?
one. That's a really tough one. Because honestly,
You seen Heredity?
I have not seen Heredity. I've heard it's actually rather good.
I like it.
I heard it was much better than A Silent Place.
I can upload it. I got a bootleg.
Well, so here's the thing, right? Is that There are 2 horror movies that scared me. There are 3 horror movies that scared me more than anything else.
Ooh, let's get into it.
Number 1 was The Conjuring.
Okay, never seen it.
I saw it in theaters, and my friend and I smoked beforehand.
Is that the one with the attic or whatever, and like there's like film?
It's like the farmhouse out in the middle of nowhere with the witch that cursed it. It's it's Ed and Lorraine. What's their last name? Ed and Lorraine Holmes? No, not Holmes. It's
the
Ghost Hunters.
Yeah, no, the demonologist. Yeah, I know about Ed and Lorraine. I know Elaine, or what's her name? Ed and Lorraine. I know a lot about Lorraine. Yeah, because she was on a lot of ghost shows when I was getting into that one, like early 2000s.
Yeah.
Mid 2000s.
She really was. She was all over that shit.
Like fuck. There's like one from like State University Ghost Hunter show. Paranormal State, I think it was.
It was Paranormal State, yep.
And she was always on it. And yeah, like those are always like crazy stories, like, and then like Ghost Hunters.
But so
So what is The Conjuring is the retelling of the story of
they never specifically tell you which of their stories it is.
like it's the famous one with the table levitating and all the other.
Yeah. It's that exact one, but they never specifically state it in the story.
Oh, because they probably don't want to pay rights or something.
Well, no, because that and then Conjuring 2 like meshed together like 3 of their stories to try and make all of them make sense.
Oh,
as one full story.
I gotta check out The Conjuring. I thought it was like a stupid like.
It was terrifying.
Plumhouse movie.
It's fucking terrifying. It's fucking terrifying.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Because it's James Coy.
Oh.
He makes the best shit.
Yeah.
He's the guy who made the original Saw.
Yeah.
So, The Conjuring, I was terrified by.
Mm-hmm.
The Descent.
No, The Descent is... Explain it to the audience.
So, The Descent is a movie. I think they only have The Descent 2 on Netflix right now. But The Descent 1 is honestly scarier than 2 because 2 makes way more sense. Number 1 is a female group of friends goes spelunking.
Mm-hmm.
And their one friend ends up taking them to a different spelunking place that they shouldn't have gone to.
Oh, it's always the one friend.
Yeah.
Always the one. Like, if you have a one friend where you're like, hey, let's go to this bar, and she's like, I really want to go to this other bar, you just get her out of the fucking group.
You do.
She's a vegan. Well, not only that, but she's also a vegan. Like, you can never go to the fucking restaurant that y'all want to go to. You all 4 people agree on one thing, and you always got that one friend.
Yep. And this is that one. So she brings them spelunking in a very different cave that has not been explored and has been known to be dangerous.
But when you watch the movie, there's subtle things saying that it has been explored.
Well, of course it has, but at the same time, they basically run into monsters inside the caves, and they're humanoid creatures that live in the caves that decimate them. It's very scary. It's very claustrophobic. It's a very good film.
Amazing ending.
Very good. The only ending that was better than that was a French horror movie called High Tension.
Is that the one where they're on a ski?
No,
trip?
They're the lesbian lovers in the south of France trying to study at the parents' farmhouse, and then the crazy psycho killer comes to the farmhouse and kills everyone and steals the main girl.
To have lesbian affairs with?
No, it's a guy. It's like a big scary guy in a fucking truck, and he like kills her entire family, and then like takes her, and then her friend is trying to save her friend, and it's a whole fucking head trauma case. But it's great. The third movie that really, this one, it's a good horror movie. It's not incredible, but it is. It once I stopped and thought about it, it just scared the shit out of me.
Oh, what is it? Aliens?
No, it's called what the fuck is it called?
Mars Attacks?
No, it's the one where the kid astral projects.
Oh, The Shining?
No, he doesn't astral project in The Shining. Astral projection can be done. I've tried it once and it's terrifying. It's where you get your quote unquote soul to leave your body and move around the astral plane.
He just telepathed to someone, right?
No, it's called starts with an I. It's not The Conjuring. It's made by the same people, but it's called shit. What the fuck is it called? There's like a blue Darth Maul like demon guy in it. I'm just gonna look
Insidious?
Insidious.
Yeah.
Insidious 1.
No, that's what I thought the Conjuring was.
Yeah, Insidious.
That's the one with what's his name?
Yeah.
And he's like, he goes in the attic and he sees it. I really like that movie, but it's a Blumhouse, so they had to add that stupid thing at the end.
Well, so the thing at the end. No, that's honestly the thing that freaked me out. Mainly because it all connected. So during the middle of the movie, right, they're having the seance.
Mm-hmm. Science.
And the old woman, Elaine, she's like contacting the demon.
Yeah.
She's like, the demon's like, I know you, you fucking bitch. And she's like, no, oh my God, no, not you. And the entire movie, you're supposed to think there's that red-horned demon fucker who's trying to steal the young boy. And then at the very end of the movie, the one who's like, if I ever get out, I'm going to strangle you so your fucking eyes pop out. You know, like.
Ooh, that's a good one.
You find out that it is the old woman who at the very end takes over the husband's body and strangles and kills Elaine.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't, like, at that scene, you're like, oh, it's got to be this red demon. He must be this terrible, terrifying thing. You don't realize until afterwards that those terrifying, disgusting, like, I'm going to eat your organs kind of shit is coming from the fucking demon that takes over the guy, the husband at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And I was, as soon as it all clicked, I just couldn't sleep.
Because you never know. That's like Paranormal Activity.
I loved Paranormal Activity.
The person that...
I love that movie.
The demons and your wife. Bum, bum, bum.
Well, don't spoil it.
Well, everyone knows that fucking ending.
How so?
Because, like, everyone knows it. And they also... Fuck, I forget what movie it was, but there's like a kid movie, like we'll just say Cars 2 or 3. But the projector guy fucked up, and he played the beginning of like Paranormal Activity 2, which is the ending of Paranormal Activity 1, and just like you just see a woman going like running towards the camera with her husband, just throwing it at the camera, or whatever, and like all the kids were crying. It was around the same time that their parents fucked up and were taking their kids to Deadpool, thinking that was a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
They're like,
what's this R rating for? Must be nothing.
Oh, you know, it's one of those Marvel movies. It'll be fine. And
it's just excessive cursing, right? And you're like, yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. The guy who can regenerate and literally kills people by killing himself.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely going to be just R for cursing.
And it's really funny for Deadpool because like the intro to it is him like shish kebabbing a guy and like saying like, I know what you're thinking. That guy just totally fucking ripped that guy in half.
He totally shish kebabbed that guy.
Yeah, like
this must not be a kid's movie.
Yeah, exactly. I would just love to have been in the audience with like a parent. They're like, oh my God, he's right. Just like walking off.
Well, my favorite thing about Deadpool, the first one, because I've loved Deadpool the comic ever since. God, what was it back in probably 2006?
2006, A Space Odyssey.
2006. I read the first compilation that they ever put out.
The omnibus
of Deadpool and Cable team up.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's one of his longest team ups.
No, that's because
like
he has a whole
one.
series called Deadpool team ups, but yeah, that was the initial.
Yeah, Deadpool and Cable was a long running series, and then that
because they
Deadpool
both kind of
team-ups.
were like D-list comics at the time.
They really were. They were both like people that you always forgot about.
Same thing with like Iron Man and Captain America. Like no one wanted.
No.
The reason
Captain
why
America
Marvel
was always popular.
The reason why Marvel held on to those rights is because Sony and everybody didn't want to buy it.
Well, of course, because they were like, "How can we ever make that into a movie without CGI that works?"
Well, how could we ever make this into a movie that isn't stupid and shitty? Did you ever see the original Captain America movie?
The one from 1947?
Well, I mean the one from like the 70s or 80s.
Oh, when they remade it, yeah.
Yeah, like when he.
Well, because
they
did one in 47 that was
Yeah.
Marvel's Captain America. And they did one in 51.
It was like propaganda. Yeah, that was like super propaganda.
And in 1951, they did Captain America 2, the death of Captain America.
Where he gets shot in the head by a sniper.
Yeah. He literally did.
I don't know if that's what actually
That's
happened.
actually what happened.
Because that happened in the after Civil War.
Yeah. Well, it's because it's the same comics.
2007, 2010. I forget when Civil War took place.
But yeah, they put that shit out a long time ago. They put out a Doctor Strange movie a long time ago. They put out Fantastic Four back in the 80s. They put out
I don't know about this Doctor. Are you sure?
Doctor Strange from 1972.
I've never heard of it before. Are you sure you're not thinking about the Punisher or Nick Fury?
No, I'm positive. Mainly because do you know the website Sporkle?
No, what the hell is this?
It's a website that came out when I was in 8th grade. So 2008, Sporkle came to be. I started playing it back in 2008. I still play it to this day. It's a quiz website that users make the quizzes. So say it's like...
So this is like the beginning of Facebook shitty quizzes.
Yeah, more or less. It's like, you know how like, okay, so there you would have like 9 minutes to name every Slayer song ever. You know, like
God, that's terrible.
Or like here's a bunch of outlines and shadows of famous characters, and you have like 6 minutes to name all of them.
Okay.
It's a lot of fun. And it's you know, they have music, they have geography, they have, you know, down to movies and television. They have just for fun. They have a bunch of shit. It's tons and tons of fun of it. It's a great website.
Mm-hmm.
But I love playing it for the movie quizzes because I know it's like, here's one picture and basically list every movie that came out in 2017. Or like every movie that came out in 1994, you know?
That's terrible.
Not really. 1994 is super easy.
All the movies that came out?
Yeah, it's super fucking easy.
There's like a million movies that came out.
But the second half of the year is super fucking easy.
The second half of every year is super fucking easy.
You know that at one point, literally in September of 1994,
not one movie was released.
The Titanic, Jurassic Park, Forrest Gump, and Shawshank were all in the movie theaters at the same time.
It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Even crazier because Pulp Fiction was pushed out.
It was. Well, because it was pushed to be an October movie, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you got to think that not even, that 7 years later, 2001.
Yeah.
Shrek was such a successful movie that it released in June of 2001, rode all the way through August, and they took it out of the theaters and re-released it as a Thanksgiving movie.
Why?
Because it was so fucking popular.
But that's not a Thanksgiving movie, though.
Who cares? They released it at Thanksgiving, which makes it a Thanksgiving movie.
Okay, fine.
It was the second release. They released it twice in 1 year because it was that fucking popular.
Titanic ran in the movie theaters for, what, like, some crazy, like, 14 months?
Yeah, it was like 12 or 14 months.
Like, I think that's like the longest running movie of all time. Well,
in the theaters,
in our modern
Well, because at the same time, you gotta remember that it was Spielberg in his prime. You're right. It wasn't. It wasn't even Spielberg. It was
James Cameron.
That's it. Cameron. He's the one obsessed with blue.
He is obsessed with water. There's like a weird.
He's just obsessed with the color blue.
No, like he has this obsession with water.
I know. He actually is most of the reason that we've explored the bottom of the ocean.
Which is weird. He's been to the Mariana Trench, right?
Yeah, he has. He's been to the bottom of the Mariana Trench.
There's only been like 3 manned expeditions, and he's one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, guy's fucking crazy.
Didn't he film Blue World? Or Blue Planet?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't think so, but
I don't think so either.
Like I don't know if he's done any like nature documentaries.
No, I know that when he made Titanic, he actually had to build a special submarine that is now like the standard submarine that's used. Because they had to go down and take such like still shots of the wreckage that they had to be submerged for so long they couldn't do that in the modern day submarines at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And he was the one who made that like yellow monstrosity with the bubble at the front. He didn't design it.
No.
No, he's not smart.
No, he's just wealthy because of the Abyss money.
Yeah. More or less, yeah.
There's a conspiracy about that.
Oh, about Abyss?
No, about like his love of water stems from the Abyss, which is his first movie where he deals with water.
Well, what's the conspiracy there?
It's not conspiracy. It's more or less an observation or like a film theory or something.
That he's been obsessed with water ever since Abyss?
Yeah, like something about that. Like, because before that he did like Terminator, and I
He
think his
did
first,
Terminator?
Yeah, it was his first directorial debut.
Holy shit.
He
It's a
did
great
Terminator.
debut.
He did Terminator, Aliens 2, Terminator 2.
The best Aliens.
Well, Aliens 2 is just a remake of the first one.
And it was much better.
It depends on how you like it. That's an action movie. I like Alien better
Well,
because it's more
Alien was a horror movie. Alien was not an action movie.
Well, Alien
Aliens 2
was a hidden rape movie.
No, Alien was made as a sci-fi horror.
It's a rape parable. Because everyone, like when people get killed, you can see the imagery. It's like one woman gets killed, like the alien just stands in front of her and then puts his tail between her legs and murders her. The cyborg tries to kill Ripley with a rolled up porno and shoving it in her mouth, which is a terrible way of trying to kill somebody.
Yeah, it really doesn't work well.
Yeah.
It's like choking yourself to death.
And not even to mention when the cyborg gets killed, he's covered in white goo spewing from his mouth. Like everything in that movie is a parable for rape.
Wow. I remember watching the behind the scenes of the directors, and they're like, "Yeah, we just want to make a horror in space."
Well, that's because.
And that's why it was so dark and so.
Who directed that? I want to say it was.
It was Scott Ridley, right?
Yeah.
He directed it, right?
Yeah, I think so.
That was back when he was still directing all of them.
Yeah.
Because they stopped letting him direct after Prometheus because he really fucked up his own timeline.
No, he directed the last one.
No, he didn't.
Covenant.
He did. Executive producer. He didn't direct. They kicked him off directing. Yeah, I remember that. It was a big deal.
Well, whoever directed it still sucked. Still a shitty movie.
Okay. To be fair, it's very shitty for specific reasons that don't matter to the movie.
But I get it though. Like each Alien movie represents a different genre. Well, the first one represents horror. The second one represents action. The third one represents
commercialization.
I think like a prison sex porno.
I don't know. They were sponsored by Adidas for that movie. That's why you keep seeing Ripley in her Adidas.
Really? I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't catch. I haven't seen the third one in so long.
It was the second movie that really used corporate sponsors.
Jesus Christ.
Because the first one was. Do you know this one? What was the first corporate sponsorship in a movie ever?
It was Reese's and E.T.
Yep. Completely correct. Completely correct. It was Reese's Pieces in E.T. because Eminem thought, why the fuck would we put our M&Ms in a movie?
You know, the really fucked up thing is that E.T. came out a week before The Thing came out, and everyone and all the reviewers gave The Thing like shitty reviews. They just shit on the movie. They're like, Robert and Ebert said, it's the B-est of B movies. Complete trash, 1 star.
Ouch.
Like,
all right, out of these 3 movies, Bucky Larson, The Ridiculous Six, and Jack and Jill, which of those 3 movies does not have a 0-star rating on Rotten Tomatoes?
Oddly enough, it's probably Jack and Jill.
You're completely correct.
Because
Jack and Jill has a 3% rating.
Because somebody really liked Dunkin' Donuts or something.
More or less, yeah. They're like, I
Pepto-Bismol.
love Connecticut.
Pepto-Bismol really helped me out of a few situations. God, talk about sponsorship. Jesus Christ. I bet Adam Sandler's still like raking in cash. Like
he is. He has 3 more Netflix movies to do.
Like everyone shits on him all the time, but
he's a smart motherfucker. Also, his stand-up was hilarious.
What was the stand-up? He has a special?
Yeah, man. Back way before he even did the Hanukkah song.
Oh God, no, that was terrible.
No,
all of his stand-up.
His stand-up was so funny. He was like one of his.
All right, we're looking for a new co-host.
One of my favorite jokes of his, right, is he is like, My mother says whenever I'm sick that I need to drink my liquids. I'm always on the phone with her. I'm like, God damn it, Ma. What am I supposed to do? Drink my salads too? Should I just blend up a steak? I love it.
Oh, God.
Drink your liquids.
This is like some Jewish humor.
Drink your liquids. I love it.
Ah.
It is pretty damn Jewish, but it's funny because it's it's an
hate-
overprotective mother that's
Well-
like, hey, don't forget to drink your liquids. And it's like, what else the fuck can I do with them? Unless I freeze them. I gotta drink them. Can't be eating my liquids.
Fair enough. But he just ruins it with, oh, I, ooh, or something like his fucking songs.
I'm trying to think of the verse of the Hanukkah song that I can remember, but there's too many of them. There's like 12 Hanukkah songs.
Yeah, you before
and-
Adam
Smoke
Sandler,
your marijuana.
was it really worth cutting me off?
Yeah. Smoke your marijuana.
It's funny because before Adam Sandler, there was 0 Hanukkah songs. Now there's 50 Hanukkah songs.
If you're doing the math, to be fair,
There was 1?
there were 38 Hanukkah songs, and he's made 12. We had dreidel, 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 I made you out of clay. Now dreidel, 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 oh dreidel, I shall play.
Oddly enough, that was made by a Gentile.
I'm sure.
That song.
There's probably a guy who was like, I don't know what these things are, but this is a catchy tune. Dreidel, dreidel, dreidel.
I can just see this
Hey,
in,
hey,
like-
hey, Jews.
I can just see, I can just see this in like the 30s, the 20s or the 30s. Like, hey, sweetheart, play that happening rhythm.
What are those little things spinning on the floor? Oh, dreidels? Hey, dreidel, dreidel, dreidel.
I bet we can sell these to people.
What are they made out of? Clay? Oh, I made you out of clay. Dreidel, dreidel, dreidel. Now, dreidel. I
Now,
shall
Dreidel, you will pay.
Play. I'll play it. It seems less hostile.
Now that you gotta.
You ever seen the movie Hostel?
Yeah, I like the movie Hostel. Talk about a scary movie.
Dude, I was watching those when I was abroad, and I was about to go to a hostel in Liverpool.
Now you're a dude.
You're a dude. I've always told you you're a dude.
Well,
I get
said
that you
were
have
abroad,
a massive vagina, but
don't tell
I
nobody.
tell you that you're a dude because we accept transitions here. I was watching Hostel when I was out in England, and I was about to go out to Liverpool. My trip was to go from Liverpool to Dublin and back to London, and I was watching Hostel 3, which Hostel 3 is disturbing in the fact that the first scene is them letting a guy go from the torture chair
Mm-hmm.
because they cut his Achilles tendons while he was
Ooh.
unconscious. So as soon as he stands up, he just falls flat on his face.
That made my asshole hurt so much right there.
Right? Right? It's terrifying. And I'm like, okay, I'm about to go to these hostels in the rest of Europe. I probably should stop watching Hostel. And so I did. And I get to this hostel in Liverpool, right? Liverpool, England. First off, the elevator
Didn't work.
No, it did. It was only able to take 2 people and their bags up at one time. It had a 4-person capacity.
Unless you cut someone's tendons.
It had like a 500-pound limit.
Wow, Jesus Christ. I could barely fit in.
And so I went up to my floor. We put our stuff in our room. There were no sheets on the bed. There were no pillows on the bed. The guy said, hey, go to the room across the hall and steal their shit. And so I was like, whatever. And our lights wouldn't turn on. Turns out that the light switch in the room across the hall from us turned on our lights.
Oh,
And
wow.
So we stole all their bedding.
This seems like, what the fuck is this? Like,
It's a hostel
No,
in Liverpool.
No. Like,
This is a
like,
real thing that happened to me.
No, this seems like an experiment or something.
It's really what happened.
Like,
You talking about like the Stanford experiment?
yeah, this sounds like the Stanford experiment.
It's not. We're not prisoners.
No, like, oh, hey, yeah, go steal their stuff. Oh, yeah, and our light switch works for theirs, and their light switch works for us?
It really did. It was terrifying, but no one else was in the other room.
Well, not yet.
The paint was still drying on our wall because there was blood there before. It was a great stay. I really, really enjoyed it for the 2 days.
Do you remember the name of the hostel?
I don't want to plug it here. I
Yeah,
really don't want to
we'll
plug it.
plug it. We'll get advertised. Well, like we don't need to do an hour of the first episode.
So
more or less-
Michael Johnson, you are from Chicago,
Yeah, born and raised.
in the city?
Yep, in the city the whole time.
Wow, where in the city were you?
North side. I was in Lakeview when I was born and raised, and then I moved a little bit further north. I forget the neighborhood.
Well, is it true that what I've heard about Chicago is that the Lakeview area in
Right.
the 80s and 90s was what South Side is now?
Well, kinda. It was like a shittier, like a white trash kind of neighborhood.
That's what I've been hearing, and that
Yeah.
like really it was.
It wasn't until the 2000s that it started getting gentrified.
Well, that's the thing is that I heard that it wasn't. When I was talking to someone about it, they said that the city planning really made it almost reverse gentrification, right? And reverse gentrification doesn't make much sense to people until I explain it.
Okay, yeah, it didn't make any sense to me right now.
Gentrification is when white people move in and make businesses, right?
Yeah.
Which in turn flourishes the area, causing rent all around to move up.
Mm-hmm.
What I heard is that Lakeview was reverse of that. So basically, the city planners pushed up all the rent to force out all of the shops and the people to then replace them with people that could fill that rent,
Yeah,
which is reverse gentrification.
that's exactly what happened.
Is it?
Yeah, like they just rose. I didn't know that was reverse gentrification, but yeah, that makes sense. It's not like a because gentrification, I guess, is
It's systematic and it takes time. This
well,
did
no,
not take
it's
time.
not systematic. It's
Oh, you're
random.
right. It's not. It's actually not.
Like
It's
you
exactly
like
not.
it's random. Like Whole Foods moves in, a fucking the other one, Trader Joe's move in. Then next thing you know, it's the neighborhood's happening, like Logan Square.
Makes sense.
Like,
Or like Wicker Park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're absolutely right, because the city came in and they just jacked up the property tax, which in turn jacked up our property tax went from like probably like 1,500, $2,000, like $3,000 a year
Mm-hmm.
to $10,000
Holy fuck.
in like the span of a year or two in
Yeah.
like the 90s, early 2000s.
That's what I heard, because I heard that I was talking to a bunch of people at these old restaurants like Ida Pita.
Ida pita.
There's like a couple landmark restaurants that are in that area that have been there for like 30 plus years, you know? And so I talked to the guys who own it, and I'm like, is that true? And they're like, yeah, totally. They're like, the only reason we were able to survive was simply because we had the customer flow. We were cheap enough that any monetary style person,
Mm-hmm.
you know, blue collar, white collar, middle class, lower working class, lower class, upper class, whatever, all of them could afford the food.
Yeah.
And they work off one of those like picture menus. So you're just like, I want that one. They're like, okay, here you go. And they're like, yeah, we've been here for 30 years. They said that Lakeview, like Belmont area, was effectively what like 65th was.
Yeah, it was mostly white trash and Puerto Ricans. That's why I grew up around.
Which is effectively outside of Hyde Park.
That or the west side.
And West Side, yeah.
Far
yeah.
the
Like
west side.
Cicero and...
Yeah, by Cicero.
Because Pilsen is very Hispanic / specifically Mexican now.
But now it's getting gentrified.
Is it?
Yeah, like Pilsen's like now the happening spot.
I heard that Bucktown was the happening spot. I heard that Bucktown was the next one to get beefed up, and not Pilsen.
Bucktown has a Mariano's. Like I don't know where Bucktown is.
Because
like,
Bucktown is like it's right north of Wicker.
Yeah, but I don't like. I'm thinking of like where I guess
They just opened.
they just opened up a bunch of like high class places at like Webster. Like what was that, Webster and
Cermak.
yeah.
Yeah, and they also they just made a new museum down there. It's the Vienna Beef Museum. Because it's the original Vienna beef plant is down in Bucktown.
Yeah. Well, I thought the city was trying to get rid of it. Like when they changed the Six Corners there, because that's Six Corners at at Fullerton and what was that? Milwaukee? No, Fullerton and Elston. That was like known worldwide as the worst intersection in the world.
What's funny is that there's a place outside of D.C. that has been the #1 accident spot in the nation for the last 15 years.
That circle or whatever?
Nope.
No.
It's called Seven Corners.
Oh, my God.
It's quite literally 7 roads that converge.
Oh, my
and
God.
2 of them are interstates. 2 of them are state roads. 1 of them is a federal highway. And the other 2 are county roads.
Like, what asshole designed that?
I don't know.
That's like the stupidest fucking thing like anyone could ever do.
Well, there's so many accidents because there's so many goddamn streetlights for different angles that you don't know if it's your angle or the next person's angle next to you. And you're
I hate that.
You're like, that looks like it's pointing at me.
Yeah, you ever ran into that? Like, I accidentally ran a few red lights doing that.
Never in Seven Corners when I lived out there. I never ran a red light out there. I always waited until the people behind me started honking, just so I knew I was supposed to be going. But past that, yeah, no. I've gotten to the only accidents I've really gotten into. I was an idiot and I drove 45 miles an hour on a left-hand turn and hit some gravel.
Oh,
and I slid straight into the curb. Completely busted the rim of my tire. And I don't mean like the faulty little plastic bullshit rim.
No,
I mean the actual metal rim of my tire was split off and jutting out of my car. And this guy had the audacity to pull up next to me and goes, "Your tires popped." And I go, "Fuck you, man. I know what's happening here." And I drove all the way back to my neighborhood on a flat with a busted rim, killing my suspension, yeah. But that way I could blame it on this aggressively large pothole.
Yeah, well, it was the pothole's fault.
Well, to be fair, that pothole was so large that when your car hit it, the bottom of your car would scrape.
Does your mom know about this?
No, if she's listening to this, she knows for the first time.
Oh, this is your first.
This is my first time telling what actually happened in that accident on public air. So Jimmy Kimmel, give me a call. Lance Bass, if you're out there, I just want some of your money.
And the other idea was a drone with a knife and a bag. The Kickstarter is going to be called "Help Me Rob People."
Oh my God! You just fly up to him with a drone and a knife and the little speaker.
Isn't that terrifying?
Give me your money.
Isn't that like a terrifying idea?
That'd be a great Black Mirror episode.
Like
that wouldn't be a great Kickstarter.
No,
it'd be a great GoFundMe.
No, this is an actual
GoFundMe or I'll find you.
This is an actual idea. Buying a drone, putting a knife on it, and putting a bag in front of it, and with a speaker just saying like, "Put your money in the bag."
It's a little personal.
I'll stab you.
It's a little personal for me, my friend.
Why? Because you got robbed with a drone?
No, I used to live in one of the 3 counties of the United States that allows armed drones.
What the fuck?
Yeah, there's 3.
This is a conspiracy.
One of them was the place I lived, Harrisonburg County, in the middle of Virginia. Is the meth trafficking capital of the East Coast, which makes them want to have armed drones. And they're technically non-lethal weapons that can be attached to drones.
Yeah, like knives.
No. Such as flamethrowers, tasers.
Those aren't called non-lethal anymore.
You're right, flamethrowers aren't. But
no, they're called, God, what's it called? Less lethal or something? They're not called non-lethal anymore, though.
Well, yeah, because they kill like 600 people with
because
tasers every year.
Deadly, yeah.
So they have they can put tasers on them. They can put beanbag guns on them. They can put guns with rubber bullets in them.
Put machine guns in it.
My town also had
shoot machines.
We also had a riot tank.
Wow, Jesus Christ! Where the fuck?
It's the middle
world country.
It's the middle of Virginia.
Like,
it's 2 hours south of DC on I-81. You drive straight through it. It's called Harrisonburg, Virginia.
Why the hell do they need all this fucking military
Because there's
stuff?
9 gangs in a town of 35,000.
That pretty much means that everyone's in the gang.
Well, yeah, because 27,000 of those people are fucking college students that come and go.
Oh, so they're just robbing them.
No. They just make the meth and they traffic it and they fight each other. That's what they do. That's why when I saw the Charlottesville shit, which Charlottesville happened a year and 2 days ago.
Oh,
that Charlottesville
never
rally.
forget.
It happened a year and 2 days ago. But when I watched it, I was like, yeah. I don't know why you all are so surprised that Charlottesville didn't have the fucking police force to handle this. It's because, oh, wait, I forgot. None of you have ever been to Charlottesville. Charlottesville is a gorgeous, small city in the middle of Virginia. It is very, very liberal, and it has a lot of different people. It's not very white. It's not very black. It's not very Asian. It's not very Hispanic. It's very everything. And the thing is that the fact that there was a march there that killed someone, everyone's like, that's a Nazi town. And it's like, it's not. It's a sleepy little Virginia town that's mainly for artists. And the entire police brigade is in Harrisonburg, which is 45 minutes over the mountain from them.
Mm-hmm.
We were the ones who had the riot tanks to stop that shit. We're the ones who have the goddamn armed drones. We have all of the gangs. And so if Harrisonburg police responded to the Charlottesville debauchery, no one would have died.
No. Well,
truly.
by car.
They have a goddamn riot tank
That you would run people over with.
that they would park in the middle of that goddamn street that the guy drove down.
Fair enough.
You know, it's a mobile roadblock.
It's just people are crazy.
But so that's the thing is that I was like, I get it. I mean, I get why this whole thing happened, why the police weren't able to stop people. It's because they don't have the police for that. They're a sleepy little town.
Yeah.
When I was 16, I got blackout drunk in Charlottesville. My brother went to UVA.
And you were singing Team America walking down the street.
Nah. But I was lost for 3 hours. Only 3 hours. And the entire University of Virginia and Charlottesville police was looking for me. That's like 17 people. That's not enough to quell a neo-Nazi rally with an anti-rally from Antifa.
Mm-hmm.
That's not enough. You need the goddamn riot tanks from Harrisonburg to come over, and their specially trained anti-gang warfare police to come over and be like, hey, oh, you guys have shields, you guys have mace, we're going to separate the two of you. No shit, Sherlock. You know, it's not terribly complicated. But yeah, it was a lovely place to go. So. It really was. It was a lovely place.
It looked lovely from
It's
all the
actually-
videos that I watched.
Harrisonburg is the number one most diverse place in America.
That doesn't make sense.
The number so of their elementary school.
Oh, elementary schools.
You know, of their elementary schools, there are 56 primary languages that are spoken in their elementary schools.
The fuck?
Yeah.
There's not that many languages in the earth.
There are like 92.
92 languages.
Something like that. They're still going. We used to have over 1,000.
Yeah, right after God destroyed that fucking
Tower.
tower. Yeah.
Yeah.
We just had the one back then.
Yeah, it was great. We could all talk to each other. And he was like, no,
No!
you monkeys can't talk.
Go speak Japanese.
Go speak whatever ease in Honduran you want. He was like, I'm going to speak Angrich.
Oh, damn. You got wrecked.
I want to talk about your favorite conspiracy. And I don't mean like of all time. I mean the one that's really tickling your brain right now. I want to know,
I don't
Michael
really have
Johnson.
anything
I
tickling
want
my
to know, Michael Johnson, what your most favorite conspiracy of the moment is. Because everyone has their favorite conspiracy of their life. You know, everyone has their 9/11. Everyone has their Stonehenge. You know,
Stonehenge is good.
or their Roswell, New Mexico. Everyone has that one that sticks with them for their lifetime. But I want to know personally, Michael Johnson, as of this date in 2018, 2,018 years after we crucified Jesus.
Well, you did.
Well, that's why I said we.
I didn't.
Hence again, we.
No.
I'm Jewish. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the Jews.
Oh, we. 2,018
years after we crucified Jesus. What is your favorite conspiracy right now?
I already have one.
You son of a bitch.
I
I had a 5-minute build up to this.
Do you know? Do you know what the money pit is?
Like the Tom Hanks movie from the 90s called The Money Pit, where he bought
So,
the mansion and then threw all his money into it to try and build it better.
No, that was big. No, there's this pit in Vancouver, Canada, and it's on an island. And it's really hard to get to. And on this island, they found like a pit, and they like dug it up. And after like 10 feet in this pit, there's like a wooden floor, right? So you break open the wooden floor, and then you dig 10 more feet, and then there's another wooden floor. You dig 10 feet more, there's another wooden floor. You dig 10 feet more, there's another wooden floor. And it just kept going. And I think they're down like 110 feet. And not to mention just in the floors, but there's also like booby traps.
Oh.
Where like it'll like start flooding with water through these vents. And nobody knows who constructed it. And they think that that's where the Holy Grail is. That's one of the mysteries. That's one of the theories.
But what would make the Holy Grail show up in the middle of Canada?
So the theory behind that is that in the 18th century, 16th century, somewhere within there, the Templars from London.
Yeah, the Knights Templar.
Yeah, there's a
started
church
in 1722.
Well, there's a church in somewhere in England that has the Holy Grail. It's like this small little church that the Knights Templar called home base at one point.
Of course.
And they have depicted on one of the stained glass things Canada and the Holy Grail. And they also have some evidence that they sailed to this remote part of Canada at some point.
So what you're saying is that, hold on, let me get this straight. Harrison Ford did not find the actual Holy Grail.
Well, the city of what's the city that they used in the third Indiana Jones?
Oh, what's the name of it?
It's like
the City of Gold.
No,
El Dorado.
No, you idiot. That was the fourth one. The third one with Sean
I'm sorry,
Connery.
You're right. I'm
It's
thinking
desert.
of it.
It's a desert city that, and I forget what country it is, but it was thought to be gone from the pages of history, but I forget, like it was like the 80s or something, or like the 70s, the 80s when they discovered that building again. No, you're talking about the fucking Templar, the Knights Templar, the Holy Grail from the Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah. But so they found. I'm just confused on where this pit comes into all of it. How did they get the Holy Grail from Europe to Canada? I guess
they have boats, idiot. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, but like you can't tell me that everyone on that boat was like, oh, the Holy Grail, the thing that gives you endless salvation is just on here. Let me mindlessly sail you across the world, which would inevitably mean my death.
Do you understand who the Knights Templars were?
Yeah.
They were willing to hide the Grail and die for the Grail because they believed in religion that much.
Well, do you not?
I don't.
Then why do you care about the Holy Grail?
I don't. Again, it's a theory that what's in there. I like the money pit because it's just this crazy thing.
So here's a question for you. Would you, as a non-religious believer,
right? We're doing the money pit at some point, though.
We will. We'll do a full episode
because I'm actually going to research this. And
it'd
actually
be cool.
Get my shit together.
It'd actually be really cool.
This is actually really, really interesting.
Do you believe more in the Spear of Destiny or the Holy Grail?
Both. If one exists, both exist.
Why?
Because the Holy Grail was used to get Jesus' blood. and the reason why he was bleeding is because he was stabbed by the spear of destiny.
I mean, that's fair, but I don't remember anything where they were collecting his blood off his body during the crucifixion.
Well, I don't know if you've ever been to the church, but like the wine
Never.
represents his blood. And
And bread represents his body. The guy just liked carbs. Like, what am I supposed to tell you? I don't know why you think that white bread resembles the body of what you consider a god.
listen,
But to me,
the ritual
I would
exists for a
truly
reason.
prefer if a goddamn Soylent drink resembled my god, because it's way cheaper than bread.
No one cares about your fucking flatbread.
No one likes Soylent here? Soylent?
I don't even know what the fuck that is.
Soylent is a powder that was made by a dickweed in San Francisco.
I'm talking about dickweeds.
He literally is a dickweed. He's like
Yeah.
he's a human dickweed. And it's a powder that gives you all your nutrients. And he's been so enamored by it as the creator of the whole thing that he doesn't even use it.
So I just like the idea of the pit.
All right.
I also like the crystal skulls.
I do love the crystal skulls.
I don't know if they're real or not.
They definitely are.
Well,
There's literally no technology on our Earth that could have carved them the way
okay,
they
listen. We don't know if they're actually made of crystal, and a lot of them are held in private. Like, no one's examined these fucking things.
are. Well,
It's always
they're not
hearsay.
allowed.
It's always hearsay, and that's when you hear hearsay, that means that it's bullshit.
All right, I'm gonna get an Uber.
All right, well,
It's only
that's
13
been
bucks.
that's been Wild Wasteland. You can tune in every week to hear us.
Hey, we
get
really
angry at each
enjoy
other.
that you all came out. Honestly, thank you for listening. I, as Dean Maldonado, hope that you're all my friends and that you understand that I talk too much anyway, so I need an outlet.
Well, it's fair. This is what this is for.
Precisely. Otherwise, I would be killing puppies and blinding babies with bottles of acid.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm a very civil human.
And
okay?
I'm Michael Johnson, if Dean would ever let me talk.
Never!
You didn't let me talk.
I'm going to put it down.
I'm Michael Johnson, and thanks for listening. Yeah, we're going to be doing this every week. Starting this week. This is our first episode.
Please tune in.
Next week, we'll be talking about one of my favorite subjects, skunk ape.
Skunk.
So, hope to hear from you next week.
Skunk Ape! Oh, I'm so excited. Honestly, I can't wait for Skunk Ape. I love fucking cryptozoology,